Hey, what's up guys, it's Sonic here, and tonight I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit on Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. Now, I don't know how many people know Yu-Gi-Oh! And how many people don't, but yeah, this will be something pretty new. I just got a wild hair to get on here and play, so I figured, well, why not show you guys what I'm basically doing when I get on here. So without further also, how are you doing, Extreme Motorbike fan? Hope you're doing alright there. And, also guys, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, with, all post notifications on. Excuse me guys, so yeah, without further ado, as soon as I, let me find them. Alright, so I'm about a video called Extreme Motorbike Fan, because I'm his best friend in real life. So, here he is. Hey, what's up, bud? Just currently streaming on this right now, on a Yugioh. I see you're watching, so... Alrighty. Now, if you guys look in the top right corner there, with the upside down yellow triangle, those are your, those are basically like your points that you get when you play and complete duels and stuff, and win duels and stuff. And the more you get, the more you can go into the card shop and buy cards. And that's just for those of you who do know Yu-Gi-Oh! And then that, what looks to be my profile picture for PlayStation, that's exactly who I am. Right up there in the top right corner, with 27,704 points. Now those I did not get very quickly, but I got them. So before I get too far into the game, for those of you who don't quite know about Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm gonna go through the tutorial here, because this night of mine is only gonna last for another hour and 15 minutes, so I better make do with it. So anyway, look, this is in Florida Mage. That's just how I'm just gonna call him. I don't know what to call him. I'll call him, I don't know. I'll call him 48. So, anyway, he says, "Hello there. I'm here to teach you about the rules of dueling. Let the lesson begin. Now remember guys, like he said, pay attention if you're going to learn. A duel is a card game fought using various cards. This tutorial will explain the duel screen and the different kinds of cards there are. Now, before I get too far into this, if you guys don't catch what I'm reading at a certain part, or maybe just need more time to look at it and register it in your head, you can always pause the video at any point and take a moment and register it. So, anyway, let's go on. The screen where a duel takes place is split into two parts, one side for you and one side for your opponent. Both sides are identical. They are only reversed, so they are facing the player. The bottom half of the screen is your side of the field, which, as you see there, that blue highlight on that, with the finger moving, that's part of my field right there. That is my field right there. Whatever's highlighted in that picture, that was my field. The top half of the screen is your opponent's side of the field. So with the hand moving, that's my opponent's side of the field. That is what it looks like. Each field has specific areas to place cards. First, the monster card zone, which is that top row right up there. Sweet for monsters. This is where monsters summoned during a duel are placed. Monsters placed here can battle. Next, the Spell and Trap card zone. Spell and Trap card. Okay, I said that right. But anyway, that's the bottom row there. This is where you place Spell and Trap cards when you use them during a duel. Next, the Graveyard, which is right over there. Monsters that are destroyed as a result of battle and Spell and Trap cards that have been used are placed here. Cards placed in a graveyard can be viewed by either player, which means your opponent can look at your graveyard just as you can look at theirs. Next, the Deck Zone, which is that, your deck, well, what your deck sits on. You place your deck here upside down, which I got most of it, just not the upside down part, but okay, yeah. A deck is the stack of cards you use. A deck is the stack of cards you use during a duel in this game. The size of your deck can be anywhere from 40 to 60 cards. You can create a deck using the deck edit screen. Add cards with various effects to make duels more exciting, which I can show you a little bit more on the deck edit screen when we get through this. Now you guys know more what it's talking about. Next, the Banished Zone, which, okay. But that's the Banished Zone next to the Graveyard. Cards that are banished as a result of another card's effect are placed here. Or some cards might be ordered removed from play, but it's the same thing. Cards placed here generally cannot be used again in a duel, unless there's an effect that allows it to be. Next, the Field Zone. This is where you place field spell cards, which have special effects. For an explanation of field spell cards, see Chapter 7, various spell and trap cards, which we'll get there. Basically, when you place a field spell there, it affects the whole field, including your opponent's side of the field. Because remember, the field is split into two sides. So a field spell obviously would be the whole field. Just in turn, if they put a field spell down, it's the whole field that affects. So just don't forget that. Next, the Extra Deck Zone, which is there. This is where you place a deck made of Fusion Monster, Synchro Monster, and XYZ Monster cards, or XZ Monster cards. I just call them XYZ for some reason. When you want to use a Fusion Monster, Synchro Monster, or XYZ Monster during a duel, you will need to make an extra deck using that deck edit screen. Which again, I can show you a little bit more of that a little bit later here. Next, we have the Pendulum Zones, which there's one, and there's two. When you activate a Pendulum Monster card as a spell card, you place it face up in the space. Pendulum Monster cards do not count toward the 5 card limit of your Spell and Trap card zone or Monster Zone. Next, let's look at the different kinds of cards there are. Cards that are used during a duel can be divided into 3 major types based on the color. These are monster cards, spell cards, and trap cards. Cards that are yellow, orange, violet, white, blue, or black are monster cards. Yellow, orange, violet, white, blue. Okay, I got it. Just registering that in my own head. Monster cards are divided into 6 kinds based on the color. Any of these monsters can battle and attack your opponent. Next, let's look at the green colored spell cards. Spell cards can help you out with various effects. Because these effects are different, be sure to read the text of each new spell card you obtain. Finally, let's look at the purple colored trap cards. Trap cards have the ability to surprise the opponent by disrupting their attacks and strategies. Both trap cards are activated in response to an action taken by your opponent. Remember the difference between monster cards, spell cards, trap cards, and the different places on the field explained in this chapter. That concludes my lesson on card types and how to look at the screen. These are fundamentals of dueling, which means you really want to know stuff when you go to duel someone, or else you'll just look like a complete fool not knowing what you're doing. No offense, but that's probably what some people look at it as. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing off of what I would imagine. I'm just guessing off of imagination. But either way, that concludes the lesson. Till next time, dismissed. Yay, dismission. Okay. Well, dual flow summoning monsters. Now, before we go to that, he mentioned the deck editing. Now, remember, a deck can hold anywhere from 40 to, as I have, 60 cards. Now, I have counted this already, but you can have up to like 30-something decks. 32 decks. Now, even if you had like 60 cards in each deck, if they were all different, that would be a lot of cards. But I don't even have 10. I don't even have a third of it. Because really the only deck I use is this one here, the first trial deck. And it's complete. I own all the cards. And I have exactly 60 cards in my main. And then for my extra, I have 11. And I really don't know what the side deck is used for. Because when I look in the lessons, I don't even think that is the lessons. Okay, yeah, there's nothing about the side deck, so I don't know what it's used for, but I'm not too worried about it, because I don't ever use it anyway. Alright, anyway. Well, now that you get an idea of what the deck editing screen looks like, now I can move forth to dual flow summoning monsters. Now, as the game loads, there might be little tips like that you can read while on the loading screen, or not tips, but like maybe different things with cards or whatnot. Or I think there are tips, I don't know, but they're basically something you can read at if you wanted to. So, anyway, hello there, this is 48. Well, like, again, I call him 48 because for short. This time let's go over game flow. Let's look at how a game is played. Before the actual duel begins, a game of rock, paper, scissors is played. The winner decides if they go first or second. Once the order is decided, the screen will change to the actual duel screen and the duel begins. First, each player draws 5 cards from the deck. These 5 cards are a player's starting hand. Like so. Cards that are used during a duel are mainly played from your hand. Yeah. So your chance to take over the duel comes when you draw a powerful card. In a duel, both players alternate performing actions. The order in which this happens is called a turn, which I'm sure a lot of people will know that before that even gets mentioned. At the beginning of your turn, pick up the top card from your deck. This is called a draw. The player who goes first does not draw during the draw phase of the first turn, which so to some people it makes sense, to some people it don't make sense. I'm not gonna choose one side or the other. I'm gonna stick myself right in the middle and say it is what it is on that one, because I don't really care, because I've still won and lost duels with this. So, I mean, I don't really care. But then again, that's why I always go second. Now at least I can draw a card. Plus, I know what my opponent's actually gonna have for me. So, yeah. That would really help. I mean, a lot. Like, a lot, you know? Anyway. After drawing one card, if you have a monster card in your hand, you can place it on the field. Monster cards are placed on a monster card zone, which, again, is that. Normal summon is the action of placing a monster on the field. You can only normal summon one monster per turn. Even if you have a lot of monster cards in your hand, you can only normal summon one monster per turn. So make sure to summon the right one. So, yep. This is pretty much a strategy game. which for some people you might already suspect that or foresee that, but yep, you're right. Guessing. Summoning a monster in face-up attack position, is when you place a monster on the field vertically. This is explained and detailed in Chapter 4, which we'll get to. There are only 5 monster card zones on your side of the field. If you have a monster in all 5 of these monster card zones, you cannot summon another monster, so be careful. Okay, try summoning a monster. Now, this is where I actually get to do it, but... Yep. Okay. Now, the one thing that we'll get to later anyway, is that if you look at a monster card on the left side of the screen up there, if you see the star times 4, that's the star level of the monster. If you have a monster level with that number being at 5 or higher, you must sacrifice the monster on the field to bring it out. So if you have a 5 or 6 star monster, you have to make 1 tribute to summon him out, called a tribute summon. A tribute summon. That's what I should say, a tribute summon. And if you have a monster going from level 7 higher, you basically have to make 2 tribute summons. And the Egyptian gods are 3 tribute summons, which I know because I used to be able to play with it. Maybe not in this particular game, but something much like it. So without further ado, let's see, which one do I want to summon? Well, 1850, that's out, that's out, that's out. Wait, oh, that's got the defense though, but we want to summon a monster vertically, so it would have to be this one. This is the time where normally you would want to attack with a monster, but the player that goes first in a duel has an advantage, so for the first turn only, they cannot attack. I'll let you summon a monster in your turn. What advantage though? I'm kind of curious. Because what advantage they have? I mean... Although it would make sense that they can't attack though, because their opponent wouldn't have a chance to put anything down. But then I also foresee it, yep, okay, you're right, that makes sense to me now, that's fine. If you guys need a moment, you can pause the video, but I'm moving on. You need to select end phase and the phase menu to end your turn. Go ahead and open the phase menu by pressing the circle button, which is up there in the top by the cards, up there in the opponent's hand. I don't know if you can see the words too well, but basically, if you're playing this game and you're playing it on PlayStation, because I don't know if you can play on another console or a system, then you just press circle, and this will, well, that won't do this, but this right here will pop up the whole list of phases. And what it was just trying to show me was that this over here with the yellow highlight moving around, I'm highlighting the end phase right now. So when I hit that, it ends my turn. Thus, or not thus, but hence the hand being there, as if someone is giving something to someone else. In that case, pressing end phase will end your turn. The word phase will be explained in the next chapter. A duel is carried out with both players taking turns like you just did. This concludes the general game flow of a duel. Now I'll explain game flow in detail. This too is fundamental, so take out a pen and paper if you need to. Well then, till next time, dismissed. Okay, well, I didn't. Oh, right, because he's gonna do it in the next chapter. But basically, this is where he gets a little more detailed with all that, so without further ado, I guess let's just get right into it. I don't know why I didn't go back. There. Oh. I know, he's on quarantine. So, of course he'd suck me up. Yeah, I never did say dove, guys, but, as of a few days ago, motorbike, I don't know why I can hardly say his name sometimes. I guess well, then again, I've been talking about this so much, but basically, Extreme Motorbike Fan has actually, a few days ago, sent word to me that he has started quarantine because some people in his family got COVID, and I don't know if he's actually got it, but he's got a quarantine now because of that also. He'll be out of school for at least a week or two. I'd say a week's minimum. Because my quarantines usually lasts a week and a half, so his will probably be a week minimum, maximum 2 weeks. So, yep. That's that. Now, the reason why I haven't gone on yet after that is because I'm actually gonna get a hold of, someone. Okay, I found him. Oh wait, yep, here she is. Just calling a friend of mine. Well, I guess FaceTiming. That's what I was doing with Extreme Motorbike Fan. I was FaceTiming him. Wow, the one time I try to call you and you don't even answer it. Jeez, girl. That's good, though. It's only 10:06, wow. Okay, well, we'll see if she calls back. Actually, I might try Extreme Motorbike Fan one more time. Hold on. Oh, got it. We'll see who gets to me first. Okay, sorry about the wait, guys. Anyway, hello there, this is 48. Let's get to the lesson. Try to keep up. The previous chapter explained the game flow and how to summon a monster. This chapter will have you summon a monster, assuming this is not the first turn. Let's do this. Okay. What? Wow, dude. Oh, I can't do that. I have to do summon, seriously? My idea would be put that in defense. Only 800 attack, seriously. Well, I mean, it's the lesson. It's gonna make you do some things. It's fine. Now, let's go over a turn and its phases. If you remember, a turn is the order in which players alternate performing actions. A turn is divided into 6 phases. You can only do certain things during each phase. The current phase is displayed here on the screen, which is that in the middle. The yellow letters are what phase you're on now. The blue letters around it is what phases are there. But basically, when the phase letters become yellow, that means you're on that phase. Or if the letters become red and the letters are yellow, then that means your opponent is on that phase. Basically. The first phase is the draw phase, which is that phase. The player whose turn it is, the turn player, draws 1 card from the top of their deck, unless specified by special cards effect. A player must draw 1 card. If a player has no cards left in their deck and are unable to draw, they lose the duel. Next is the standby phase, which is that. Normally nothing happens during this phase. For detailed explanation of the standby phase, see chapter 8 about standby phases, or about phases rather, not standby phases. But I'm sure it will explain more about that standby phase. But basically some cards will talk about, oh, during the standby phase this happens, or do this during the standby phase, or during the standby phase this happens, or whatever. But like I said, we'll get there. Well, that's what I keep saying. And so far we have. Next is main phase. And main phase 2. Main phase after the standby phase is called main phase 1. The main phase after the battle phase is called main phase 2. Although they have different names, they are the same. During your main phase, you can summon a monster, use spell cards, etc. etc. The battle phase is in between main phase 1 and main phase 2. The battle phase is where you can attack using monsters face up on the field. You do not have to battle, so you can skip this phase if you like. Also, as the previous chapter explained, the players that go first, the first turn of the duel, cannot enter the battle phase. The last phase is the end phase. When you want to end your turn, select the end phase. For a detailed explanation of this phase, see chapter 8 about phases. I got it right this time. Okay, try to battle with a monster. You need to select battle phase and the phase meaning to battle. Again, circle. Yep. And over to battle phase. Attack with a monster. Each monster in face-up attack position can attack once. First, select a monster on your side of the field to attack with. After that, select a monster on your opponent's side of the field to attack. So I would take my monster, attack, and select the target that I want to target. And boom, just like that. Your opponent's monster is destroyed and your opponent receives battle damage. The amount of battle damage your opponent takes is taken out of their life points. A player's current life points is displayed here at the top of the screen. Well, yours is at the bottom, but theirs is at the top. This number represents your health. Both players begin the duel with 8,000 life points. You win the duel if you reduce your your opponent's life points to 0. Let's look at how a battle is decided. When a monster in attack position battles, it uses his attack power ATK. When two monsters in attack position battle, the monster with lower ATK is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Additionally, the difference in the attack is taken out of the losing player's life points. In the previous battle, your attacking monster had 800 attack points. The monster being attacked had 500. As a result of battle, your opponent's King of the Swamp, or monster, we don't really need to know the name right now, had less attack, so it was destroyed. Battle damage is calculated like this. 800 minus 500 equals 300 is what it says. Therefore, your opponent lost 300 life points, being that they lost the duel. They would receive the damage of the difference. So, that's basically how that works. Or receive difference in damage is how I would say it. So, that's how that works. And that's why instead of being at 8,000, they're now at 7,700. Your opponent's life points was originally 8,000. Minus 300 equals 7,700, which I just said. So your opponent now has 7,700 life points. There's still another monster on your field that has not attacked. There are no monsters on your opponent's side of the field. When your opponent has no monsters, your monster can attack them directly. This is called a direct attack.
What the hell are you reading?
During a direct attack, the attacking monster's attack is taken from your opponent's life points. Try to direct attack your opponent. So, just like that, boom. The attacking monster's attack is taken from your opponent's life points. So it'd be 7,700 minus the 800 I just attacked him with, puts him down to 6,900. So your opponent now has 6,900 life points. Oh, okay. Okay, what happens when two monsters have the same amount of attack battle each other? Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Okay, what are you reading?
As you can see, Both monsters are destroyed and sent to the graveyard. 1200 minus 1200 equals 0, so neither player loses any life points. And like you said, both monsters are destroyed because they are the same. So it's like one goes down, so the other goes down with them. Attack like this to reduce your opponent's life points. Reduce your opponent's life points to 0 to win the duel. You also win the duel if your opponent cannot draw a card from their deck or by using a specific card's effect. One famous example of this kind of card is Yugioh, the Forbidden One. If you can assemble all 5 cards in your hand, you win the duel. This time, I'll explain the battle phase, in other words, how to battle. Battle is the core of dueling and is where strategy is essential. How well things go all depends on you. Well then, until next time, dismissed. So guys, that is pretty much how that is so far. So, right now we'll just take a break. If you guys need to, make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video. Also take a moment, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do so with all post notifications on, whilst I have the first word with my friend here. Hey, what's up? 4. Okay, alrighty guys, we're back into it. Let's see, so we left off after Chapter 3, which means we're on Chapter 4. Defense position, changing card positions. Right here at it. Hello there, this is 48. Well then, let's begin. Chapter 3 explained attack position. This chapter will explain the other position, defense position. The word battle position refers to both attack position and defense position. Did I just fully skip something? Hold up. I might have just accidentally hit the wrong button and just totally skipped something. Let me just make sure. Now, placing monster in defense position, that's what I skipped. Now I know what I'm doing. Okay. I went for defense. Ooh. Select set from the menu. Oh, it doesn't even do anything. I won't even let me summon it. Okay. Anyway, let's not play around. Because I don't have so much time. It's already 10:19 and I have to... I'm gonna start getting ready well before 11, so I don't have too much time to waste. The monster was placed face down and horizontally on the field. This is called face down defense position. A monster is in defense position when horizontal and attack position when vertical. Placing a monster in defense position from your hand is called a set. As long as there isn't any special condition, a set monster is placed on the field in face down defense position. A summoned monster is in face up attack position, and a set monster is in face down defense position. Now what happens when a monster in defense position battles? Or I guess he should say what happens when you battle a monster that's in defense position. Because when you're in defense position, you can't really battle if you're in defense. So you have to be in offense or attack position to battle. Thus the word, or hence the word attack. Anyway, when a monster in defense position battles, it uses its defense power DEF. Hey, look at that, 3 letters of the alphabet in a row. Back to back. Just like the result of this battle, when a defense position monster is attacked by a monster with an attack higher than its defense, the defense position monster is destroyed and sent to the graveyard. However, neither player loses any life points. This is the main difference between a battle involving 2 attack position monsters. When a face down defense position monster gets attacked before the battle is concluded, it switches to face up defense position. Now how about this? Attack the same manner as before. If the monster being attacked has a higher defense than the attack of the attacking monster, neither monster is destroyed. However, the difference between the defense and the attack is dealt to the attacking player, which is 1000 minus 800 is 200, so you take 200 points of damage. Which makes sense, because being that my monster was in attack position, I would still be allowed to lose the damage. But if I had higher attack and they're in defense, then they wouldn't. So the point of defense position obviously being defense, but I mean it just kind of makes sense to me a little bit, but yeah. Now the attack and defense are the same. Try attacking. When the attacking monster's attack is equal to the defense of the defending monster, neither monster is destroyed and neither player loses any life points. If an attacking monster's attack is the same as an attack position monster, it is attacking, both monsters are destroyed. These 2 situations are different, so make sure not to confuse them. Now you know the difference between attack position and defense position. No matter how high the attack of the attacking monster is, when a defense position monster is destroyed, there is no damage dealt to the player. A monster is set face down from your hand, so your opponent will not know what card it is. Use this to throw your opponent off. Even if you don't have a monster with a high attack in your hand, you can still get out of tight situations by setting monsters. Make your choice depending on the situation on hand. Now try changing the battle position of the monster you're already on the field. As long as it isn't the turn you summoned or set a monster, you can change it from defense position to attack position and vice versa. However, you can only change a monster's battle position once per turn. But quit to make me select the defense position 1 and make me change it to attack position. Why not the other way around? Seriously? Like attack position monster. Oh, well, let's adjust that, got it. Keep in mind that if you attack with a monster during your battle phase, you cannot change its battle position in main phase 2.
I mean, that's like the cheese, I don't know why.
I think we're starting him off.
Watch this.
I didn't know that.
It's after this card.
Flipping a face-down defense position monster to face-up attack position is called a flip summon. When changing a face-down defense position monster to attack position, you must flip it over. Flip summon has the word summon in its name, but it does not count as your one summon for the turn. So you can still summon a monster as long as you have not already done so. This concludes my lesson on defense position. The best defense is a good offense. The best defense is a good offense. It doesn't cut it when it comes to dueling. Don't forget that when you can't attack, you will need to defend. Well then, till next time, dismissed from class. Alrighty, now, okay, alrighty, chapter 5. Now probably guys, after this chapter, I'll probably go and stop here for the night, because either A, I'll be getting ready for bed, or B, I might take a duel to my own hands for a minute, and then get ready for bed. One of the two will happen. So definitely be sure to like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, make sure all post notifications are on. And I said this probably about the second or third time in the video, but please make sure you do it. I recommend it, you won't regret it later, I promise you. Anyway. Obviously, a random card on the screen will show and you'll get to read it for like 3 seconds. Hello there, this is 48. Now then, let's begin. This chapter will explain how to read monster cards. Every card has a name and illustration. This is where the card description is written. For normal monsters, a description of the monster's personality and characteristics are written. Other monsters have their effects written here. A monster card's attack points, attack, and defense position defense are written here. As explained in the previous chapter, these points are used during battle. Each monster card has a specific attribute. There are 7 different attributes a monster can have. These are some card effects that only affect monsters of a specific attribute. Each monster card has a specific type. There are 23 different types a monster can be. There are some card effects that only affect monsters of a specific type. The number of stars show the monster's level. In the chapters up until now, you have only used monsters level 4 or below. In order to summon a monster that is level 5 or 6, you must tribute 1 monster. This is called tribute. Sending a monster on your side of the field to the graveyard to summon a higher level monster is called a tribute summon. Try to tribute summon a monster. Ooh, which one do I want to summon? Shoot! Looks like we have one better than Summer School. I thought he was one of the better ones. Well, for a lot of people he might be, but this guy's just a little bit ahead of him, so I'll bring him out. But dang, 26 for a 6-star monster? Jeez. Like, wow, dude. But we'll go with it. In order to summon a monster that is level 7 or higher, you must tribute 2 monsters. Ooh, check this out. Which one do I want to summon? I'll summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. He's got a higher attack and defense. Trust me guys, he's really powerful. Compared to Elemental Neos. Or Elemental Hero Neos, which is that card down there that still in my hand. These are no specific rules on which monsters can be tributed. A monster can be tributed even if it's face up, face down, in an attack position or in defense position. That concludes my lesson in one of the methods of summoning a monster, tribute summon. This is the most basic method of summoning high level monsters. There are other ways to summon them, but I'll explain those later. Well then, till next time, dismissed. Well, there we go. So now we kind of have an idea of the monsters and the tributing and the tribute summon and stuff. So now we got that down. Well, being at 10:29, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because, like I said, my deadline for tonight is not my deadline, but my night will end at 11. In other words, I'm going to be going to bed at 11. When I say my night is going to end at 11, guys, I don't mean something bad is going to happen. When I say that, I just mean I'm going to bed at that time. So in this case, my night ends at 11, so I'm going to bed at 11. So, well, at least at the latest anyway. So, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I will be sure to make another video this week. Well, I'll probably make a few this week. At least one tomorrow and at least one Thursday. So be sure to keep an eye out for it. It will be after 4. It will be after 3:50 though, because that's right around the time I get home, and I have to do some things before I even get on. Just a couple simple things, and then I would be on. So, yep, just make sure to keep it out. And we're 4 after I should be on, and probably ready to post. So anytime after 4, I'll wind up posting a video on here. So be sure to, or in this case, broadcasting a video. So be sure to look out for it. And I guess without further ado, one more thing though, I just want to say to Extreme Motorbike fan that I hope your quarantine goes well. Hopefully nothing real bad goes on with you, and hopefully you all Sonic fans will believe in the same, and I'm sure he'll get better, guys. But I just wanted to say that real quick, and shout out to Extreme Motorbike fan. He's been a great friend to me, and I pretty much like the content that he's got so far on his channel up until, or I don't know, but yeah, from what I've seen of his channel, I really like it. Shout out to him. Thanks. To him, and I hope he has a great night, and I hope he has a not too terrible of a quarantine, and hopefully he gets better soon enough. So, well, I don't know if he's even sick, but even if he is, I just hope he'll get better. But without further ado, guys, I will catch you guys later, and have a good rest of your night, and